Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. Back with his good friend, Friday expert, Mr. Stephen Dow. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm pretty good every single day. It's just typically by Friday, I'm a little pooped. I'm not gonna lie, it's just constantly, but I try to get a little recharged.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be closed, on Saturdays, but I'm still working on Saturdays. But who am I lying? I mean, I don't know why I'm lying. I get up every single day between 4:30 and 5:30, no matter what time I get to sleep. I'm sure you're kind of the same way.
Yeah.
You're like daily discipline with the show, but no matter what time I go to sleep, I'll automatically wake up between 4:30
Yeah,
and
it's
5:30.
weird, right? It's just weird. Yeah.
Body clock over the decades of gotta get up, gotta be the provider, gotta do my thing, gotta suck it up and be a man and just work. So now it's ingrained. So it's okay. I got plenty of energy, as you can see.
Yeah, of course. This is all without coffee, which is just nuts to me. That's funny. Anyway, hey, what I wanted to do here was have a totally different conversation than we've normally had. But before we do that, let's get the marketing thing out of the way.
Thank you for remembering. Although I worked so happily for Velocity Mortgage Capital, all the ideas and topics discussed on this channel are basically Mike's.
Yeah,
got mine of my own.
I like
our own.
Our own, yeah. So, that is awesome. I appreciate that. Well, I thought what we do is we'd have, we're actually gonna have 3 different topics today.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about money. We're actually gonna talk about commission. I just threw that one in there. And then we're gonna talk about the 3 financial statements that people don't realize your family, you personally have a financial statement, and we need to talk about all 3 of them. So what I want to do first is actually talk about commission. So I don't know about you, but I've had a commission. I was on a commission as early as 13 years old. I made 1% selling hardware and 3% selling basically toolboxes, right? I worked at Sears. I sold Craftsman tools.
Sure.
And
wow, 13. Okay.
Yeah, 13. I had a quota, baby. I had a quota.
Man.
And I've had a quota for how old am I now? Almost 40, almost 4 decades. And so stress, it's weird. So I went to sell software and I had 90 days. At Sears, when I was 13, we had 30-day quotas. So I've been living that world.
JCPenney catalog.
There you go, baby.
Man, I've sold everything from bread makers to pizza to hair care products to everything, under the sun pretty much. So I get it, man. And you were 13. I was in, not to flex, 12, not as consistent, but I was working at 12. It was like a county sponsored program for kids during the summer. So it's like a summer job, but you got to work at companies that would sponsor you, things of that nature. But like regular, clerical jobs, office, stuff like that. I even went to go work for a Jewish community center. And at the time they were going through construction. So if I wasn't doing office work, hey, you know what? Why don't you go help move that piano? There's a refrigerator there. So I'm probably 65 pounds soaking wet at 12. Doing everything from phone and everything in between. But yes, this is why we get along. I think we're kind of made of the same cloth. We've always been on the grind. That's all I know. And so, but anyway, let's talk about money, because that's
so what I want to talk about with commission is the reason I like commission is I've never looked at quota, which is in our world called on target earnings, OTE. Use the slang. OTE was, even at 13, I wasn't interested in OTE. I was like, okay, check. I want what's above that. And again, typically in a commission-based world, most plans, you have a target, and then when you exceed the target, you get accelerator money. You get the gravy, you get the juice, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yep. The little carrot that they kind of entice you with. Well, hey, I've
been chasing that carrot since I was 13 years old, man. But what I want to talk about here for the folks is, if you're on the come up and you want to, I don't know how to say this without coming off arrogant or wrong.
Just say it. That's okay.
Yeah. But if you really want to see what you're made of and you want to control your future, and the 9 to 5 is not for you, right? Just the, whatever you make an hour. That, and the other thing I'll say is I actually had a 0 base at 17. I think I was 17. I got nothing. I showed up, made nothing unless I sold. So I didn't even have a base.
That's a strong why. When you got no security blanket, no security net. It's all it's all or nothing. It's all on you. So
Yeah.
I like it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you're on the come up, you're in high school, college, whatever. If you want to really change your future financially, go get a commission-based job. Now, for most of you, the idea of a commission-based job is not a good idea because it's high stress. Picture being 13 years old, feeling like you could be fired every 30 days. That was the world that I lived in at 13.
Right.
And in high tech, right, on the come up, I was in QBRs, quarterly business reviews, where the VP was such a prick that he would fire somebody every quarter publicly.
Right.
A public shooting, we called it.
Right.
Just nasty human being.
Motivator though. Motivator.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going up there. That's not going to be my head on the wall.
Right.
We would talk about that person for years, right? Remember when so-and-so got, it was terrible, terrible. But if you really want to go eat what you kill and go after it, you really can do it. So I think a commission-based sales job is awesome. I realize it's not for everyone, but I am so glad I started at 13.
Well, if you're not in the, majority high paying tech, science, finance, something of that nature, some sort of professional attorney, doctor, something to that effect, then yes, outside of those, and if you're lucky, professional, sports athlete or actor, musician, something like that, the outliers, if you're not any of that, any kind of commission based, like you said, it's in your hands. It's sky's the ceiling. Right. Yeah. Basically that. Yeah.
And again, it'll teach you to work because the reason that I was successful all the time and I set records as a teenager for Sears Roebuck. At the time, Sears was like 130 years old. Here I am at 13. I might have been 14 the first time I did it. I set records because I just did I didn't know anything about tools. So what did I do? I walked into the drill aisle and I read every drill box and I could tell you what the differences were. And then I didn't know anything about sanders and this and that. I just did what others would do.
You just worked hard. Right. Same thing. When I first got into the industry, I was working for a boutique subprime lender in Sherman Oaks. Never knew anything about mortgages. Just graduated community college. My best friend's next door neighbor was an underwriter at the mortgage company. She got me an interview. I went in there, knew nothing, crushed it in the interview, got hired, went through minor training. It was pretty much, here's a phone, here's a list, go
call these people.
You know what I mean? But in about almost 3 weeks, I was the second top producer already on the board. Yeah. Secret was first one there, last one to leave, no lunch, work Saturdays. And I picked up quickly. What I could hear around me, I started to kind of understand and then put the dots together, just worked harder and just wanted it more than anybody else. So nah, man, we're made of the same cloth, brother. I feel you.
A lot of people get comfortable, right? And that's what you see. And I was never comfortable. I was always hungry.
Well, again, like they talk about that, we're like lobsters. The only way a lobster can grow is they got to get out of that shell. They got to feel uncomfortable. They got to break through that. So yeah, I believe adversity really builds character. If you don't know what you're made of, trust me. Move 3,000 miles, 4,000 miles away from home, never out of the state of California by yourself, not knowing anybody, and try that out. 22, went with 2 suitcases and 3 boxes just to see and live by myself. Went through the snow. You don't count on anybody else. You can't count on anybody but yourself, right? If your tire pops and you got to walk 2 miles to the fire station in the snow, guess what you got to do? That's what you got to do. So yeah, you learn a lot about yourself through adversity. So I agree. But anyway, I think we're getting off topic. The commission based, 100%. I mean, sky's the limit beyond anything else, unless you're like way up there in upper management where you're going to be garnering that, salary stuff. Otherwise, typically I make, before I became a manager, even with the commission based, I was making more than managers. So
I would tell you, again, I've been doing this so long. So I was in the most lucrative business, enterprise software sales. And without question, unless you add the stock bonuses that CEOs get and all of that, the top 10 salespeople, certainly the top 5, would always out earn all the VPs.
Of course.
All of them. So anyways, so now what I want to do is I want to turn around and I want to talk about financial statements. And more specifically, I want to relate our financial statements to businesses because I don't think enough people understand them. So first, let's talk about the income statement, right? As salespeople, The income starts, right? So you have a base, you have your commissions, maybe you have little bonuses here or there, right?
Sure.
Incentives and kickers and all of that.
Right.
But that's where it all starts. Then you have taxes.
Right.
You have 401k and insurance coming out of the check automatically. And then you get what's called your net.
Correct.
You need to live on the net, not the gross.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Right.
Then you have your lifestyle, house, cars, just all the list of expenses, right? And then at the bottom of that, I call them freedom dollars. You call them discretionary dollars. These are the dollars that are not committed to other things.
Right.
And
disposable income.
Disposable income. Thank you. Now, if that number's positive, you're doing okay.
Yes.
But if you're a salesperson and you've had a bad month, a bad quarter, that number could be negative if you're not living life right. Have you seen that?
Oh, agreed. Again, back in the early 2000s, late 1990s, I mean, it was printing money, hand over, like commissions, hand over fist. I mean, there's people making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I think they're just living thinking that that's how it was always going to be, and over leveraging and buying stuff 100% financing with no, all this stuff. And so agreed, you're only, especially in sales, you got to have that daily discipline. Sure, the sky's the limit, but if you don't play your cards right, it could all crumble because you're living on the past and you're only as good as your last month. So you got to understand it in a commission based, but again, risk to reward. If you don't want that risk of that and you don't want to know what you're made of and have to kind of grind, then take that 9 to 5. Sure, steady, you got to work up that ladder slowly. Don't know what the highest salary is for that position is, but that's what you're looking at. Versus commission, what can I sell? What's my, what are my commissions and what's my territory? That's it. Get out of my way.
Yeah. And thinking about it, I mean, I've seen, this is so sad, but it's true. I've known multiple enterprise software reps who made $1 million in a year. That's good living.
Right.
Unfortunately, again, that's a top number. Then they lose half the taxes and all of that. Then they set up a lifestyle. They add the car, they add the vacation home, they add this, they add that. And oh, by the way, this, what happens on January 1st? We all go back to zero.
Yep.
With these lifestyle things they've added, it just increased the pressure. Dude, I had software managers that would add pressure to all the sales reps to go buy BMW 740s back when those were the things. Because they'd say, lease them. Because that just adds pressure. I'm like, you guys are mean. Why would you do that?
Oh, they love that. They love that. And I remember when I was starting to come up and I didn't do the normal BMW Mercedes. I got a Lexus. Like a total old, I was in my 30s getting like a Lexus LS 430. The owner of the company was like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Everybody's buying Hummers and like all this stuff. And I'm like, well, LS 430, nice and safe. And
exactly.
But as of recently, I'm single again and still loving that life. And so, I fell down that trap a little bit for a little while, but I've learned, especially coming on this channel, daily discipline is just so important. Again, you're as good as your last month, but you're also building every little day. You're trying to prove every little bit if you can. And it's not going to happen overnight. No. It's not, but you got to do the work. And that's all that is. Put one foot in front of the other in the right direction. You're going to end up at the right place. That's all that really is. Yeah. So, but no, man, I was trying to figure out the topics and what we're talking about as far as commissions and money and finance. And I'm trying to see if you're trying to help a certain, sector of your audience. And I'm thinking it's somebody like me, maybe.
Yeah, no,
it's commission based, and
Yeah, so. I think commission based is an awesome job. I've just seen too many people have that one good year, that one lucky deal, whatever it is, and they change their lifestyle, and then they're bankrupt. If you don't watch your income statement, folks, you can go bankrupt. And again, this applies to everyone. It's just I've seen it a lot in sales. It's where I was the last 30 some years. So be careful. So in the end, I just want to talk about money, commission. It's a great career. If I had to do it all over again, I would go to that right away in my 20s. Agreed.
100%.
It is how I'm wired.
Well, not only that, but what I've seen, being 49 years on this planet, unless you're a professional, like any of those, sports, athletes, musicians, any of that, actor, something like that. But we're talking top 10 A-list or doctor, attorney, and even like corporate attorney. This is the industry and the position as far as commission based that I've ever seen anybody be able to make that kind of money with literally sometimes high school level,
Yeah.
you know, education, but they have the grind. They
Yeah.
have the you know, right? It's either you or nobody, and you got to sell yourself somehow. So no, I agree with you 100%.
So I've done a lot of hiring the last 2 decades, and I want to say 25% of the people I hired had high school diplomas only, but more than half, including that 25, never graduated college.
Right.
They're just different. They're not given anything. They just work. So really cool. So Stephen, thank you for this. This has been a great conversation. I hope the One Rental at a Time family blows you up, starts looking at a lot of opportunities. So take care of yourself. Okay.
Thanks, man. You too, buddy.